Is the running game progressing the way that you would like for it to progress, or what does it need to reach the standards you have in your mind?
No, I don't think our performance on Saturday was anything what I want it to be. We had been doing better than that in practice, and obviously missing Sills for a couple of days definitely hurts you having that guy at the guard position inside. But still, we just made some mistakes that we got to clear up. We got to continue to work on it and get our technique better, our pad level. Just basic fundamental stuff that sometimes these guys that hadn't had a ton of reps. Both tackles played pretty good, but inside we just didn't do what we need to do. We got to continue to work on that. But it's not progressing the way I want to right now.
Is that because of the lack of experience at center? Is it or just different technique from last year?
Well, yeah, no, it's not really as much different technique. It's just these guys haven't played a whole lot inside. With Chase never playing center before. There's a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of stuff he's got to recognize and make calls. And our defense isn't the easiest to run the ball against. They move a lot, and that's fine. It helps us in the long run. It's just the growing pains early are tough with all the movement they do. But we're going to continue to work on it and continue to try different things to get things going in the direction we want them to go.
Is it more than an offensive line situation or the running back situation?
No, it's the O-line. We got to get it right. You can't allow run-throughs. You can't allow negative plays. It's like I told my group the other day. If we can keep people from running through, and our running backs are good enough where they're going to get yards. They're going to get what they need. We just got to do our job.
Coach, how much of those issues are assignment mistakes? How much are physical mistakes?
A lot of them are. It's not as much assignment. We're at the point now where they know who to go to. It's just the technique of getting there. That's the thing. Like I said, with our defense, as much as they move, if you all of a sudden you cross your feet or you step too far and they're looping back inside, it just those are the things that they got to get used to seeing. It's just a lot different than what they've seen in the past at practice, week after week. With the front they ran last year wasn't near as not as much movement and not as much technique. So it's really, I don't think it's a physical thing. It is with some of the younger guys probably ain't as strong enough as we need them to be right now. But it's more of a technique issue that I've got to fix, and that's something that I got to take care of.
Were you blocking vanilla stuff, or were they scheming you up a little bit?
There's no such thing as vanilla stuff with Coach Vic. And the good thing is I've been with him 4 years, and I've been through these growing pains before, yeah. and they're tough. I mean, the stuff that he does, there's a reason why he's, you look at his defense year after year, it's tough to run the ball. And it's just, like I said, it's growing pains you go through with young guys. It's growing pains you go through with a new. We've all been in this situation before, and Troy, our first year there, it's not fun, but it's something that you got to continue to harp on and continue to fix, because you got to be attention to detail up front, especially versus this defense. They never sit still. They're never just going to sit there and let you block them. They're constantly moving. The linebackers are moving, and they do a really good job. And it's the O-line's always the last thing to come around, because it is five guys that have to that have to communicate and have to make sure they're on the right page. And that's my job as a coach, is making sure that they get there. So we're gonna. All I know to do when things go bad is I tell them all the time, just go to work. You just gotta get them to go to work the next day, man. I mean, that's what this whole place is about. Just blue collar, get up, go to work, and study your assignments a little harder, and focus on what you're doing a little more.
Some of the guys that you're blocking, the Stills brothers, are they coming along and giving you guys good looks?
Yeah, no doubt. I think defensively, our personnel fits pretty good with what we do, because they don't ask them to sit still and just hold a double team, because we don't have any 330-pound guys that can do that, So they're getting better. They're getting better at moving, and they're getting better at communicating. And at the same time, that's what you want. You want in spring practice, you want defense to win one day, offense win the next. Defense one day, so everybody's just getting a little bit better every day. And but I think they're doing a good job. And of course, that's Coach Leslie would definitely would tell you that, yes or no. But I think just watching from our side, it creates some problems for us.
Generally speaking, when you talk to coaches, they usually say in springtime, if the defense is giving up a lot, then you're in big trouble. Where typically the offenses are behind the defense. Is that usually how you see it?
Yeah, it's just the nature of the game. It's defense is kind of like basketball, where if you've got one guy who's hitting a bunch of threes, you got one D lineman that O lineman can't block, you can dominate. But on offense, it's got to be everybody doing their job. We brought the whole offense in. we watched film together yesterday, and we had several examples of like, hey, here's 9 guys doing a great job, but there's 2 guys not doing their job, and it's -4. So we you know, and that's what you got to do with these guys. They got to understand that, hey, everybody's got to do their job. Everybody's got to do their individual job, not worry about the other guy's job. And so that's the point we're at right now, is getting them to understand that.
Were there any situations where your guys made the blocks, but the running backs didn't press the blocks?
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course, and it was good to see that, because I know it was very frustrating for our running backs, because they, you know, there was times where they were getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, that's completely our fault. But then there was some times where it didn't, you know, where we blocked it up pretty good, you know, and I think those guys understand. But I completely understand the frustration, you know, and it's frustrating for my guys, it's frustrating for the running backs. But you know, like I said, all you do is just, hey, we got to keep working. We're going to get better at it. And we've been here before, and we know how to fix it.
How's Michael Brown moving, and you know, what's he doing well, and what does he need to keep working on?
You know, Mike has probably progressed more than anybody on the offense. Coach Brown actually recognized him yesterday and said, hey, he's really progressing. Mike studies really hard. He's up here twice a day. He's constantly studying film. He's constantly, you know, trying to, you know, make himself better. He's moving really well. He's doing a good job getting his body, taking care of his body. So if he'll continue to progress, I could see him actually staying in that position as the starting guard if he'll continue to progress.
What weight does he need to play at? I know he's listed at 355. Is that legit?
You know,
or?
I don't exactly know. You know, he moves well. The biggest thing is about his movement right now is sustaining that movement. Is what concerns me more than anything, is being able to get to a weight where you can play 80 plays. He can play 10 plays as hard as anybody, but it's the next 70 that you got to make sure, and he understands that, and he does extra conditioning, and he you know, we make sure and watch him what he eats, you know, so he's going to get there. It's one of those things you can't snap your fingers and make happen, as we all know.
And I think based on his lack of maybe playing even in high school, he's sort of still a raw guy.
Yes, he is, but you know, the good thing about it is he doesn't have a lot of bad habits. You know, and he's never been the guy that's been put in the position now where, hey, you got to play, you got to coach him every day, and he's really responding well to it. Just the fundamentals of everything. He's really responding well.
Talk a little bit about the quarterback battle. How's that coming?
You know, right now we got the reps spread out. You know, really, there's 3 guys that are even right there, and until, you know, Coach Brown makes that decision of who the guy's going to be, and he gets 90% of the reps, we're probably not going to be at that position to where we want to be. So we just got, you know, once he gets to that spot, because he handles that, he makes that decision. So, you know, I've got enough to worry about with my 5 guys up front. You know, I'm bad. It's like I said the other day, there's not many people on that offense, on the staff, want to look at the guys that don't mess with the ball. Everybody wants to watch the ball, watch the receiver, watch the running backs, and my job is to take care of those 5 guys up front. So that's really what I spend 98% of my time on.
You take a guy like Chase and move him from a different position in the center. Is it like starting over for him, and what are the things you have to deal with to learn?
Well, you know, the big thing about moving to center is, first of all, you got to block with one hand between your legs. All right, you're responsible for a lot of communication before the ball snaps. So there's a lot more at guard. You wait till what the center tells you, basically who you're going to start with and what you're going to do. And so there's a lot more from a mental side to it. And, you know, I just think that he's progressing. You know, of course he's not progressing as fast as what we want, but he's progressing. But I just got to be patient and continue to work with him and continue to meet with him. And you know, he's got the physical ability to do it. We've just got to get him correct with his pad level and his footwork. That's the 2 biggest things he's got to work on. When your feet come together, you stand up. You stand up, you lose leverage. You lose leverage, you get knocked backwards. It all is just a chain reaction that goes back to one thing. So I got to fix that one thing.
You faced a really unique situation with Kelby coming in. What did you do to handle that?
Well, you know, the thing about it is Coach Wickline and I've known him. He recruited a player out of my high school at Hoover High School in 2002 when he was at Florida, and we've had a relationship since then. I've done professional development with him several times. You know, I know him, he knows me, and Kelby knows that. And you know, that was one of the first conversations I had with Kelby. He's like, hey, you know, I know your dad real well. I know he's a good O-line coach. I know he does a good job. I've you know, cliniced with him before, and you know, Kelby has no issues with that. I treat him just like any other player on the team.
You've got a bunch of position battles going on. You've got the position battles with quarterback. How much is that impacting your timing? just getting things cohesive with everything.
Yeah, no, that's like I said, when you're rotating 3 different quarterbacks and you're not exactly, he's not throwing to the same guy every time at Z or at X or at Y. That does, and when you got to have all 11 guys doing the right thing. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, it's early in spring. I say it's early in our process of installing this offense. We're halfway through spring. We basically had 4 padded practices. So some of this is to be expected, but as a coach, you never want to see it. You want it to be better than it is. And like I said, the only thing you do is just, hey, let's go to work and let's keep working. That's what I told my guys. No matter how bad it is, hey, the only thing we're going to do is we're just going to continue to work and continue to get better. And we're never going to say, oh, that's as good as it's going to get. We're going to continue to work.
What do you want to see Saturday? I guess you get your next scrimmage. What do you want to see?
I want to see us be able to run the ball without free hitters and penetrators up front. I want us to get a hat on a hat, have a good base, good pad level, running backs make a good read, the quarterbacks have the correct footwork to hand the ball off or to make their correct read to pull it. We've got playmakers. We just got to get everybody going on the same page and get everybody fundamentally correct.
What's your assessment of what you're working with at the tight end position so far?
I'm excited about our tight end position. I really am. We're putting those guys, and that's the one thing about the tight end position you got to understand is that's a difficult position because you got to know everything the O-line's doing, you got to know everything the receivers are doing, and you got to be able to protect, you got to be able to run game, and you got to be able to run routes, and it just takes time to teach all that stuff. And Coach Trickett, he's doing a great job with them, and I'm excited about the ability that those guys have once we hone down exactly what we want them to do. And, during spring practice, during camp, you're throwing everything at them. You're throwing all that stuff at them. But, when you get to game plan week, you're going to pick and choose, and they're going to be a lot more decisive in what they're doing. They're going to be a lot more confident in what they're doing when you hone it down from a game plan standpoint. But I'm really excited about their ability to block, their ability to run routes and make plays.
What are you seeing out of Junior behind either Kelby or behind Colton, depending on which side he's on?
His pass protection's getting much better. He's really raw. Being redshirted last year, didn't get coached a whole lot, but he's really raw and he's long. We just got to continue to work on his flexibility to be more of a component in the run game. But his pass protection, I'm excited about the direction his pass protection's going.
Have there been any young offensive linemen or underclassmen that have stepped up or surprised you so far this spring?
Let's see. Well, I tell you, Stilly had to come in and be the backup, the second center, I think he had one bad snap, but he does a good job of fitting up on linebackers. He understands, he studies real hard. So he's done a good job, especially, to be a guy that I don't know how much was expected of him when he came here, but he did a good job of us being able to operate with that second group.
What do Bush and Sinkfield give you that's unique among your offensive skill players?
They give us speed on the edge and the ability to be the home run, to be able to handle the ball, get them on the edge, get them in space, and hit that home run, make one guy miss. That's what they bring, and that's Bush had a really, really good week, had a great week, had made some great plays. Came out Saturday and probably not as good as what he wanted. I think he probably put a little bit too much pressure on himself as far as the way he wanted to perform. You go out, sometimes you just try a little bit too hard, you're a little bit stiffer, and you're a little bit tighter than you want to be. But I think both those guys bring that home run hitting ability as far as scoring touchdowns. When you make one guy miss, that's what they both bring to us.
Matt, you talked about tight ends, slot guys, 3 different quarterbacks, and you got to put a lot of stuff in, but you're kind of looking at all these different luxuries you have on offense. What's the line you have to go to make sure you get enough work done, but you also learn enough about all the different parts you have to do?
That's an ever-changing line. It's like once you get halfway through, we're sitting down, we're looking at it, we're going, okay, what do we need to scale back? Because we have an install, that we worked on weeks ago of what we're going to put in, and then each day we talk about it. We meet as a staff, say, okay, what do we need to put in? What do we need to put anything else in? Do we need to work on what we installed at the last practice and get it right? But at the same time, you want to have enough in to go into the summer with them understanding a lot of stuff we want to do from an offensive standpoint, even if it's just put it in, do it one time, don't do it live, do it a couple times, and now they got in their head what the word means and what they do when that word is said. If it's a motion, if it's a route, if it's a play. So does that make sense? That's kind of how we do it.